On March 4th, 1933, Franklin D. Roosevelt was inaugurated, the 32nd man to assume the office of President of the United States.
So first of all, let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Nameless, unreasoning, unjustified terror, which paralyzes needed effort to convert retreat into advance.
The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Was this true? Was it unnatural to shiver at the sight of breadwinners, men who had held down good jobs, factory foremen, bookkeepers, businessmen, shuffling along the leaden length of a bread line? Half the active manpower of the United States drifting helplessly in search of work. Marriages off 22%. Birth rate down sharply. Suicide rate 40% higher than in 1929. Nothing to fear but fear itself? Happy days are here again, was the theme of the Roosevelt campaign. Now that FDR was president, somehow from within came the whisper, maybe it's true. Maybe it's true. 30 years ago, March 4th, 1933. What was the future? Would there be a future? The answer came in a drum roll of action. Congress was summoned to meet on March 9th. Congressmen and government experts worked around the clock to draft an emergency banking law to restore confidence in the banks, stop the hysteria, the nightmare of mass withdrawal of deposits. And when Congress convened, the legislation was introduced, passed, and signed into law by the President in just under 8 hours. Democracy had stepped on the gas. By the middle of June, 300,000 boys were off the streets and out in the open working with the Civilian Conservation Corps, the CCC, one of the many new government agencies Congress had set up to deal with problems of unemployment. The CCC boys planted the trees, made reservoirs, improved parks, forests, watersheds, and recreational areas. They reclaimed the great natural resources of the country, but more important, they reclaimed themselves. I feel almost as if I owned that land. Someday when those trees I planted grow large, I'm going back to look at them. The problem of the 13 to 15 million unemployed, nobody knew the exact figure, was tackled with a program of emergency work relief. Instead of a dole, a handout, men and women were put to work on a variety of needed projects. They built bridges, post offices, roads, and schools. It cost nearly $1 billion, but in less than a year, 4 million were back at work. What magic words, at work. Did we want to work? Listen, we had fist fights over shovels. Make no mistake, there was no overnight explosion of prosperity. The wheels were rusted, the fuel thinned out. But slowly, here a factory gate opened, there a smoke.